Golair, and welcome to the Loaf of Bread GAA podcast, slicing into the GAA of the past, present and future. Join me, Jason Keelan, as we cut into the largest loaf of bread known to mankind.
Hello, Diegwich, bonjour, ni hao, konnichiwa, guten tag and privyet to you all wherever you're listening in. What started as a message to 10 clubs has now expanded to more than 50 clubs globally from all continents. The journey through Loaf 2 GAA Global continues this week as we move on to our next destination in the GAA world. So come with me on the GAA journey of a lifetime and meet clubs from Canada to Argentina, South Africa to Gibraltar, Bermuda to the North Pole, New Zealand to Kuwait, Knoxville to Qatar, and literally everywhere in between. So grab the passports, grab the bags, it's time to go.
On Slice 46, it's a very special one as I chat to Jakob and Charlotte, aka Lottie, both of whom are members of the first ever all-German GAA club, Darmstadt GAA. I found out about Jakob living in Carlow and learning the game of hurling from a 10-year-old, games against other German teams, Lottie playing in her first ever camogie tournament, how the famous Germans loving the rules went really against him in hurling, training at the university, the club playlist, a member from Ireland named Ted, the might of neighbouring Belgium GAA, and much more. But first, let's head back to Germany and find out all about the wonderful university city of Darmstadt. Consult us. Guten Morgen, and welcome back once again to the wonderful Germany. Today it is the southern regions of Deutschland which greets me and the city of Darmstadt. With about 160,000 people, the city is the fourth largest in the state of Hesse. Frankfurt is the largest and perhaps best known alongside Wiesbaden, Mainz and Heidelberg. Darmstadt is the city of science in Germany, an official title I might add, not just a nickname. The Centre for Ion Research in the city has been responsible for the discovery of several elements, such as borium, copernicum, and the aptly named Darmstadtium. The name of the city is quite uncertain, but its first mention in the 11th century states the name of Darmstadt. It was the Holy Roman Emperor Ludwig the Bavarian who got the city its title and its current name. Darmstadt was once also the capital of a country-style area called Hesse. The last Duke of Hesse was in fact a grandson of Queen Victoria and Empress of Russia. As a result, the city is littered with British and Russian-style architecture. Early 20th century Darmstadt became home to an art movement called Jugendstil, which would go on eventually to become a UNESCO site in 2021, making it one of the newest in the world. Alongside this time period saw the growth of the pharmaceutical industry, and one major thing of note. In 1912, chemist Anton Kolisch was looking for a chemical to help stop bleeding in people, but accidentally stepped upon a substance called 3,4-methylene dioxymethamphetamine, which would be called MDMA, or ecstasy. As World War II was brewing, Darmstadt was the first city in Germany to close Jewish shops. It was only for a day, but it started a trend that would spread across much of Europe when the Nazis came to power. One of the most famous buildings today is the Frankenstein Castle, so named because many believe it influenced author Mary Shelley's writing on the book of the same name. As well as that, many know the Waldspiegel, a surreal building site designed by Friedrich Hundertwasser. In terms of sporting teams, SV Darmstadt 98 operate in the second tier of the Bundesliga since their inception in 1898. Darmstadt GAA are an amazing GAA side and hurling legends in their own right. The club fields sides which are entirely German, something which in itself is absolutely astonishing, and a testament to the incredible influence the GAA sporting world has on the wider population of the globe. Just recently, as you'll hear from Lottie, the club have founded a camogie side, and are working on the football side also, but we'll let Jakob and Lottie tell us all about it. So here you are, Darmstadt GAA.
Hi.
Guten Abend, Jakob.
Well, guten Abend.
Hello.
Guten Abend, Charlotte.
Hi.
How are you? Nice to meet you. How are things?
Good enough. Yeah, just came home from work and Sun is setting, golden hour right now. It's a perfect evening to have an interview inside in front of the screen.
Nice. Sounds good. Yeah. So I am pronouncing it right. It is Jakob, I presume, is it?
Yeah,
Or
Jakob. Yeah.
Jakob.
You can say Jacob. I'm fine with both. I'm very used to it. Yeah.
That's okay. Yes. And Charlotte, you're on the Darmstadt Camogie team. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. You can also call me Lottie. That's fine.
Yeah, okay, cool. Lottie, and Jakob. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Sounds cool. Jakob, do you want to tell us a little bit about what I believe is the world's first all-German hurling club? Is that correct?
It's at least Germany's first all-German hurling club, and I doubt that there are any purely German clubs anywhere else in the world. Yeah, we are a club of, let's say about 30 members. If we actually count everyone in, we're probably close to 50, but I doubt that any of these last 20 will ever show up to the training sessions. So let's say it's around 30. We founded this club in 2014. We had some first training sessions, joined the GAA then in 2015. And since then we are developing we added a camogie team. We are also doing some development now in Gaelic football. And so far we are managed by Germans and also run by Germans, and all of our players, at least right now, are Germans.
And I suppose the question that people who are listening are probably going to ask is, how the hell did all the Germans get involved?
How and why? Yeah, so I went to Ireland back in 2008, 2009 which is basically a student visit. So I did half of a transition year in Carlow in Ireland.
Oh, poor you.
Yeah, I get that response quite a lot. So I was in Carlow for 8 to 9 months, and was to improve my English and get involved in a different culture. And when you do that, you cannot really get around hurling, or at least around the GAA. Probably not the best county to visit to get in touch with hurling. But anyway, the host family I was in, the father from that family is from Kilkenny, so I got at least some hurling done there. And the kids of the family back then, 8, 10, and 12, from the first day on, they just put me this weird stick in my hand, which I then found out is a hurl. And just try this, you will love it. And at the beginning, I had no idea what it was. I had no idea how this is played. And but I fell in love with the sport and came back to Germany and was looking for a club. I was looking for somewhere where I can play this. And there was really nothing around back then. And when did I come back? In 2009, there were maybe 4 clubs in all over Germany. I'm not even sure. Now it's around 11 or 12. So there was nothing nowhere. And so from then on, I convinced some friends to get some gear themselves. And we just poked around a bit in the park. And this is basically how this all started.
That's amazing. Yeah. Did you get to see any club matches or county games in Ireland when you were there?
Not in 2008, 2009. I just watched it on TV. But because I was there in winter, there wasn't that much going on, especially in Carlow, wasn't that much going on. And no, I haven't attended a live match, at least back then. Okay. Since then, of course, I have been to a couple of matches, but not back then, no.
Okay, not so bad. And Lottie, how did you get involved in the camogie sort of things?
It is quite funny because Jakob did start the club with the university also. So the University of Darmstadt then had a hurling and camogie team. And it is close to the swimming pool. And with a friend, I was in the swimming pool getting out, and there were people playing this very funny game. And my friend said, "It looks amazing. We need to do this." And then we started, and it was amazing. It still is. And they acquired 2 new members then.
That's amazing, yeah. And how did you find, either of you, I suppose, Jakob, how did you find taking up the skills of the game and teaching the locals as well?
Yeah, I find it super interesting to basically spread the word of hurling and get people involved. This is actually what keeps me going. I love this when people that have never heard of this sport for the first time get a hurl in their hand and of course, the first time you try to hit the ball, it won't work. But maybe the fifth, maybe the sixth, maybe the 100th time. But I really like to see that people are, wow, okay, this is how you play this. This is how you do this, and this is what I really love about this. Me, myself, I was taught by a 10-year-old in a park next to the house. So there wasn't everything really correct. And from then on, I read a lot and watched videos. And there's also this anecdote, basically, when we went to our first tournament, which was in 2015, and we played Dresden. We were playing according to the rules, as Germans are. We love to stick to rules. We love to play really according to the rules, but we stopped after 4 steps, for example. So you had the ball in your hand and you run for 4 steps, and then like, okay, we have to stop now, and now we have to play the ball. And everyone told us, this is the craziest, technically correct, but this is the craziest hurling we have ever seen. And from then on, we actually learned how hurling is actually played. Yeah. By just attending tournaments and going to tournaments and seeing from others and getting some tips now and then, and also failing a lot of times. But like this, you learn it by doing it or by playing it in this case.
I think anybody in Ireland who's listening is probably going, it depends on which referee is refereeing the game, determines how many steps you're allowed to take. Yeah, it can be 4, it could be 14, it could be 30. Depends on the ref. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And Lottie, was it hard to get the ladies involved, or was it an easy sell?
So when I started, there were 3 other girls in the club, but most of the time we were like 2 girls. And then this year, somehow we managed to invite our friends and friends of friends and co-workers, and we managed to have our first camogie team in the tournament in Cologne last weekend. So this was really amazing.
Did you go up against Leia and Gareth and Francis and everybody in Cologne?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And how did the tournament go for you then?
So on we did lose all our games, to be honest.
That's okay.
But we did not lose without scoring.
Good.
And which is amazing because half of our players were beginners. So half of the girls started 2 or 1 month ago.
Wow.
And they have been training really a lot, and also they were really, really motivated, and emotionally it was a full win.
Yeah.
Go to this
super
tournament.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Did you find kind of a rivalry, or would you say a friendship with Cologne, given that I know from even talking to Gareth and staying in touch with them that they seem like an amazingly fun club, as well as quite competitive? Is it a friendship or a bitter rivalry?
So for the camogie team, it's more friendship, I would say, because before in the other tournaments we have played together with them in order to like have a full team, and so by being used to playing together as a team, we're actually not as competitive. Of course, if we're playing against each other, then everybody wants to win.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yes. And what about the men's side, Jakob?
We played Stuttgart and Cologne. Cologne, the first match, it was in Cologne. It was the same tournament, same round. And the first match against Cologne, we lost by 1 point, which is, which really sucks. But so we lost by 1 point, and then we played Stuttgart, which went much better for us, and we won that match. And we ended up in the finals against Cologne again. And this time, I think we were a bit more tired than Cologne. And I don't know how we lost in the end, but we lost by quite a margin. So wasn't as successful as the first 2 matches.
Yeah, you're a proper GA man. You've already got good excuses. That's every GA has to have good excuses. Yeah,
exactly. As with the friendship and being rivals, I'd say in Germany or in Europe, like in County Europe, continental Europe, it's such a small community still that it's really it's a big family. We know everyone by name. There's not much rivalry going on or rivals on the pitch, of course, but off the pitch, it's friends. You help each other out. You give each other tips. I've never played in Ireland against Irish teams. I don't know how it is there, but I really enjoy this atmosphere which we have here. maybe this will change in the coming years if this whole thing grows and grows more and more. But for now, you know everyone, and you know the problems and the benefits everyone can give you, and yeah, it's really nice.
Sounds like a proper GA club. Yeah, it's kind of a community first, and then you can kill each other afterwards. Yeah,
exactly.
Sounds about right. Yeah. And what is it like in Darmstadt for finding places to play? Because a lot of clubs around, well, Europe and even America, Australia, Asia, they've all had kind of the same problems of finding a pitch, because most, councils and all that don't really know what GAA is. So what's it like for you guys?
Yeah, so when I was actually saying that we were playing around in the park after I came back from Ireland, basically, and I started studying in Darmstadt, and this whole club basically started as it is when I approached the university and said, here we have 10 guys interested in this exotic sport you've never heard of. And the university has a sports program, and they're, at least for German standards, quite exotic sports part of this program, like lacrosse and rugby, which is super exotic here as well.
I've never heard hurling described as exotic before.
Yeah, it's insanely exotic here. Like, this is the only sport where you say the name and people always, did you mean curling? No, we were talking about hurling. So the name is unknown. Lacrosse, people at least have heard, but hurling is insanely exotic. So we approached them, and they were interested in us. Yeah, you can have this pitch once a week for the next semester, for the next 6 months, and we see how this developed. And this was in 2014, exactly, yeah. And we had this training session, and just by being there, people saw us training. We were also listed in the program of the university sports, so there was written hurling, and people started at least checking at the beginning of the semester, okay, which sport could I do this year or this semester? And there's hurling written, and they start Googling it. What is hurling? And they see some video online. Okay, let's join it. So at the first training session, I was expecting just those 10 guys we were training with in the park, and it was suddenly 20. So automatically we had these, and we're still in good contact with the university. We can still use that pitch. We are still part of the university program since 2014. And actually, this pitch is for free for us. So this is amazing. Wow. We don't even have to pay for it. It's lit, and we get automatically every semester at least 2 or 3 guys that accidentally stumble over this pitch, or read over the list of sports, and then okay, let's try out hurling, whatever this is. There are always some crazy guys, and you need basically crazy guys to join. So this works well.
Is it anyway like a tricky sell, considering like you guys are from one of the soccer powerhouses of the world? Is it a tricky sell to get people in when the temptation of soccer is there?
I would say that we attract the people that are fed up with soccer, because that's absolutely true that it's anywhere else but in the university, which is super open-minded to exotic sports. Soccer is everywhere. You cannot get a pitch because there's soccer from the morning until the evening. First the kids, then the I don't know, under 15, then under 16, then under 17 in the evening. There are matches. It's insane. And so because it's everywhere around, also on television, if you watch sports in Germany, it will be soccer. There's nothing else. There's maybe Olympic handball, but that's about it. And the people that we attract, I'd say, are either the ones that played soccer before and don't like the mentality which is on the pitch, or are fed up with it, or some of the guys that say, okay, no, I want to do something else. I want to do something exotic, which is hurling in Germany.
Okay.
Or camogie.
Or camogie, yeah, sounds good. And Lottie, then what about on the sponsorship side? What does the club do for funding or raising money?
Currently we're trying to apply, so we're writing applications in order to get funding. Maybe Jakob can comment more on this. We had a previous sponsor who sponsored one of the club t-shirts.
So there was an Irish pub run by a German, by the way, so it's not super as Irish as we are, pretend to be. And they sponsored us a kit and gave us some money. But also we get a bit of help from the university. For example, when we want to travel somewhere, we still have to pay for it, but we get, for example, a bus a bit cheaper, because in Europe there's a lot of traveling involved. but most of the costs, like hotels or hostels or something, still the players have to pay. So it's actually quite an expensive sport to do, at least if you want to really attend all the tournaments. So just the training itself is for free for us and for all our members, because the pitch is for free. But as soon as you want to travel to a tournament, it's actually quite expensive, especially if you're a student and you might not have that much money. That's a bit tricky.
Okay, shit. And what, Lottie, what's a good night out like with Darmstadt, camogie and hurling?
A good night out. I'm actually not sure what that means. I'm sorry.
As in, after the match, is it a good party or is it very quiet? Or
Oh, it is definitely a good party, I would say. So for the camogie team, which is rather new, we now found our favorite pub in Darmstadt. There you can actually eat very nice schnitzel and have very nice beer. And last time it got very, very late. So that definitely was a success. But also from the stories that I've heard from several tournaments and also our Christmas party, there is a party spirit in Darmstadt, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we rather don't talk about the Christmas party. Okay. I cannot remember all of it. It's every year really something to look forward to, but then in the end you don't remember what happened.
So it's a real Irish party then, where nobody remembers anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. Definitely is.
What I suppose I might ask the two of you, since well, maybe a lot of people who are listening, I've been to Germany quite a bit and I've seen quite a lot of it, but whereabouts would Darmstadt be located? Who would be your nearest clubs, and what's good to do in the city as well?
Okay. Darmstadt is quite close to Frankfurt, right in the middle of Germany, so 30 kilometers south of Frankfurt. Our nearest GAA club would be Frankfurt, but they don't have a hurling team, or at least they're not as active in hurling as we are. We try to develop Gaelic football. They try to develop hurling. We play them in Gaelic football sometimes, but you don't have a full team. So actually, if our players are interested in football, they usually join their training session and the other way around. Darmstadt is mid-size, 150,000 inhabitants or something like that.
That's big in Ireland.
Yeah. Okay. It's what was it? I think it's the smallest city in whatever. And it is there are 3 universities in this city, so it's basically a very young city. There are lots of students. There's a lot of stuff going on. And if you want to see the even bigger city and skyscrapers and so on, it's not that far to Frankfurt. So it's basically the technical university. Maybe you can compare it with, what's the name, Maynooth? Close to Dublin. So it's the campus and the town or city around this university, but the bigger city is right next door, where all the students might come from or might have their families. It's not, of course, not true for everyone, but that is what is Darmstadt.
That sounds good. Yeah, I like the sound of it. I went to University of Maynooth here in Ireland, so it's just about half an hour away from me, so that's pretty good. Yeah. What about on personal levels then, Lottie? What's been the highlights for you so far on the camogie scene?
So my personal highlight was last week, because I was really amazed by how good it all went, and that there were so many new players, new girls motivated to join, and now they are even more motivated. So we were definitely going to be competing again soon. But I guess my first personal highlight was the first tournament I went to in Dresden. It basically was it was incredibly bad weather. It was cold. It rained all day. It was in October, and I was there with another girl from Darmstadt, and we were joined together with Hamburg B, so the B camogie team of Hamburg, and Stuttgart, and some girls from Dresden, and I'm sure that's all of them. But we were a mixed-up team, but we had a genius coach. She was from Hamburg B too, and she managed that we had a lot of fun, and we played really, really good, even though we just met each other, and the whole day was really great. even though it was so cold. And
Hey.
since then, I really, I learned to love the community, and also learned to love the tournaments here in Europe, and
That's amazing.
kept me going.
And what about on the pitch then? Do you have a preferred like position on the pitch? Are you forward, defender, goalkeeper, midfielder?
I prefer midfield.
Hey,
I actually really like running a lot.
definitely. If you do that, you're a midfielder then anyway. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yes. And Jakob, what about you then? What's been your highlights?
I was expecting that question. I had to think a lot. There were many cool days and cool occasions. But I have to say, it's also one I have to mention is the first tournament we ever went to, because it was a European tournament in Dresden, also years ago. And no one was really expecting us because no one knew we were existing. It's still for European tournament. It's a rather small city where there usually it's Amsterdam or Berlin or Dresden, which is also quite big. And then Darmstadt, no one knows where Darmstadt is. I mean, in Germany you might know it, but outside of Germany, you just asked me where it was.
Yeah.
And so we just registered for that, and everyone was, hey, who are those guys? And we showed up and we played that tournament, and at some point everyone found out, okay, this is a homegrown club somewhere in Germany. They are not even Irish playing there, and the atmosphere, how we were welcomed at the party afterwards was amazing. Like everyone wanted to take pictures with us, for example, and it was this was still is a crazy experience. And the second thing I should say is that we actually played in Croke Park in 2019.
Wow.
To get to play in Croke Park, you have to invent a sport. Then you get to play in Croke Park, because we played I think it's the Irish national team of lacrosse, because we made crossover rules between hurling, or we co-invented them between lacrosse and hurling. And at the end of the World Games, I got to touch the holy ground of which is Croke Park, and play their full match against which is crazy to think about, against the national Irish lacrosse team.
Yeah,
and we actually won.
That's even better. Yeah,
that's even better.
Yeah, that's amazing, because so many people never get to step on that pitch. I've only stood on it a couple of times. The first time I stood on it was illegal. It was back in the 1990s when there were seemed to be no security guards, and I went to the museum. I bought a football with my aunt and uncle, and we just walked onto the pitch and started kicking points until security came and removed us. So you have an actual experience of being on the pitch, which is amazing. Do you guys, have you got to, or do you hope to ever get the chance to take on teams outside of Germany?
We play in the European Championship, so we already play against like Brussels and Amsterdam and Copenhagen and teams like those. So because, at least for now, the German championship, or there are not enough teams inside Germany that it's worth it to have a full year round or rounds of a league or a tournament format in Germany. So it's a pan-European championship we're playing in, which sounds more amazing than it is. It just means there's a lot of traveling involved, which is also fun sometimes, but it can be expensive as well.
Okay. Yeah. And Lottie, is it the same for the ladies in Camogie?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're definitely go most of the time, or all the time, together. So if there is a tournament and there is a Camogie match, then actually we go there as a team. And sometimes also for friendly games, we would then pitch in the hurling team for exchange or something like that. But we definitely, like, if there is a tournament, the whole Darmstadt GAA will go there together.
Okay, sounds good. Yes,
always at the same venue on two different pitches, basically. So it's next to each other, same venue, same date.
Okay.
Same evening, same party.
Same party. That's the most important part. Yeah. Sounds good. There's one last question I suppose I'll ask you before there's a couple of like quick fire questions, and then a few German Darmstadt themed ones as well. What's the hopes for the future, Jakob, going forward, now that COVID is kind of hopefully disappearing over time?
We try to find a new sponsor, and we would love to have come back to normality a bit. That means that there are 5 rounds of the European hurling and camogie championship, and we would love to field from now on for every tournament as well a camogie team as much as a hurling team. That would be amazing.
Okay, and is it the same for you guys, Lottie? They hope to field camogie more often?
Oh yes, definitely. So next season we definitely want to have a full-on camogie team and play every possible game that there is. And I hope that we will manage to acquire a lot more players.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll put the advertising out now. So anyone who's listening who's in around Darmstadt, pick up a hurl and get out there, and you'll be welcomed onto the team. So
you don't even need a hurl, just come along. We sort you out.
You just need to be alive, preferably. Exactly. That's all. Yeah. Although if you're dead, you can still come along anyway. Yeah. Okay. It sounds amazing. Yeah, I really like the sound of the club. Hopefully I get back out to Germany again sometime, and I'd love to go and see you guys for real. So some of the quickfire ones then, I suppose, Jakob, kind of for the men's side first, every GAA club in the world has to have some sort of tough nut lunatic kind of on or off the pitch. Is there one on the men's team?
I think we have a reputation of being friendly on and off the pitch, which might be a problem sometimes.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, we have some former rugby players in our team, and they get at least the defense sorted if it needs to be.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. And what about on the ladies' side, Lottie? Is there anybody who's stood out?
She is.
Maybe I got a nickname. It's Terrier. I don't know if it is the same word in English.
What is it?
Terrier, small grumpy dog running around biting you in the leg.
Oh, terrier. Yeah, terrier.
Terrier. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Lottie Terrier Gallenkamp, is that right? Okay, that's your official name now. Okay, so Lottie, you're the one on it. Since I mentioned about parties, does the club have a karaoke song of choice?
Yeah. Don't know. On the way back from Cologne, we actually tried that out in the bus. We were singing, for ages until everyone was, or at least half the bus was really annoyed, and the other half was singing loudly and happily.
Okay. What is the song you were singing, or what's the preferred song?
Every song. What was
Every
it?
Song.
I don't remember.
So there was definitely Yellow Submarine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Yellow Submarine.
And Lemon Tree. But there's also a very famous playlist for the club, and so anything that is on that playlist basically is worth to be karaoke'd.
Okay, so Lemon Tree, that's definitely a good song. It's one of my favorite songs. Yeah, you picked a good choice there anyway. Are either of you familiar with the Irish commentators Marty Morrissey or Des Cahill?
Yeah.
Jakob is nodding, definitely. Have you a preference to be in the Marty party or in the Des Cahill fan club?
No, really not.
No, okay.
I don't know. I would rather don't comment on that.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to give that to Des because Des has not got a lot of votes so far around the world, and Marty is leading by a lot. So I'm going to give that one to Des just to help out his cause. So,
all right. Okay. All right.
And Lottie, you've never heard of either of them, no?
No, I'm not quite familiar.
Okay,
sorry.
That's all right. That's okay. Plenty of clubs have them. That's part of your homework, is to go and look up Marty Morrissey and Des Cahill. It's entertainment in itself. Jakob, the toughest team that Darmstadt have come up against?
In on the pitch, definitely is Belgium, or they're called Belgium, but they're based in Brussels.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch them play. It's basically you stand on the pitch and you always see the schlitters flying over your head and over your bar.
Okay.
There's nothing we can do against them. It's always amazing to score at least 1 point each match against them, but we can learn a lot from them. But I have to say, they're super fair to play against. They explain even in case you're doing something wrong or you have some problems, they help you out. We still love playing them, but I doubt that it's much fun for them either because they're just hammering us.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That sounds pretty good. And Lottie, is it what's the feeling in the camogie side then?
So in Dresden, it definitely also was Belgium, but as a Darmstadt camogie team, we have never played them yet. But I'm very much looking forward to that. Although they also will smash us. basically.
Okay, so Belgium are the team to look out for. That's good. I didn't know they were that strong. If either of you could bring Darmstadt hurling or camogie to Ireland, is there a team in Ireland you would like to take on?
A team.
Yeah.
One of our, now I have to say I don't know the name of that team. One of our players recently moved to Ireland. He's German and he moved to Ireland, to Dublin. And he's now part there of a club and he's training with them and even attending tournaments, as far as I know. And would love to play this team, especially because we play him then.
Yeah, okay.
So,
you'll have to ask him what the name of the team is.
I have to say, I'm afraid I don't know. I can look it up maybe.
Do you reckon Darmstadt would have a good chance against Carlow then?
Carlow GAA as a county team?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Okay, yeah. Just since you had some experience, I thought I'd ask.
Probably not. No.
Yep. As a hurling club, or we say the camogie side first, Lottie, do you prefer the short passing or do you prefer to drive it as far as you can down the field?
So only saying short passing because my striking is not as good yet, I guess.
Okay, short passing, yeah, sounds good. And what about for the men then, Jacobi? Short passers or drive it long?
For me personally, rather drive it as long as I can, or even better from midfield to maybe score a point. It's always fun. But I think we should concentrate a bit more on short passing and on hand passing because it actually gets you somewhere if you manage it.
Yeah, sounds good. In the GA world, there are 4 famous choices that you can have outside of Croke Park when you go to a game. You can either buy a hat, a flag, a scarf, or a headband. Lottie, which one would you choose?
I actually would go for the scarf, I guess.
Okay, scarf sounds good. And Jakob?
It's the hat for me.
The hat for you. Okay, so a hat and a scarf, good. Have either of you been, I suppose since you're an all-German team, this might be a bit different because there's usually Irish people in every club, but have either of you guys come across the Irish iconic TV show Father Ted?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We quoted quite a lot. We had for the last, over the summer, over 3 months, we had a player from Ireland joining our training sessions. And this poor fella had the name of Ted, and he had to hear quite a lot of quotes.
Okay, was his actual name Ted?
Ted, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So you had an actual Ted in the club. That's even better.
Yeah.
That makes it more realistic. Amazing, yeah. And then I suppose for either of you, if you've watched any kind of GA, but do either of you have a favorite GA player that you've ever seen on YouTube or seen or heard of?
As I'm following Carlo a bit, influenced by my host dad in the family I was in, I would say Henry Shefflin in his prime was and still is amazing. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And Lottie, is there anybody you've come across?
No, not that I would say that's my favorite.
Okay. So everybody then. Everybody. It. Yep. Good. Yeah. Okay. That's all right.
Everybody that is Irish.
Everyone that's Irish. Okay.
Watching it is incredible.
Okay. Amazing. Yeah. And then there's a few kind of German themed ones that I'll ask you. You don't have to answer them if you don't like the sound of them either, so it's fine. Jakob, Frankfurt or Mainz?
Mainz.
Lottie?
Mainz.
Okay. Jakob, Robert Lewandowski or Thomas Muller?
I'm not really into soccer, that's why I'm playing hurling, but I would say Müller probably.
Müller, okay.
He's Lottie? The nicer guy in interviews.
Okay.
Same for me.
Same. Okay, same reasons. All good. Yeah. Jakob, hurling or soccer?
Hurling,
good.
It's the same answer.
Yeah, same answer twice. Yes. And Lottie?
Always hurling.
Good. Yep. I suppose if you probably answered this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway based on your choices. But Jakob, you're given 2 tickets. Are you going to the All Ireland final or are you going to see Germany in the World Cup soccer final?
All Ireland final. I have already been, but I would go again.
Oh, amazing. Which All Ireland final were you at? Do you remember?
Which year was it? It was Kilkenny against Waterford, was it? No, that was a semi-final I was in, and then it was Kilkenny against Limerick.
Oh yeah. Yep. Okay. Did you enjoy it as a spectacle?
Definitely. This is because this sport is so unknown here, and if you're playing it on a pitch and someone watches it, and every second question is, okay, what are they playing? And then you're in Croke Park with 80,000 people, and everyone knows exactly what's happening, and everyone is just as amazed by this or as excited as you are. This is I'm home here. This seems all right.
Amazing, yeah. And Lottie, are you going to the All Ireland final or the World Cup final?
All Ireland final, definitely. I would love to go there one time. I've
Yeah.
never been. I've only been to Ireland once, and that was when I didn't even know hurling yet. So definitely one of my life goals.
Okay, brilliant. Yes, the Camogie finals have become, and the ladies football finals have become huge here. The ladies football final is usually the biggest attended amateur female event in Europe, and I think the world. Possibly one year there was 55,000 at it one year. So yeah, you definitely have to come over and check it out. Croke Park, Jakob knows anyway, but Croke Park is just something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a different thing altogether. Before I let you guys go, then, is there anybody you would like to give a shout out to in Germany or Carlo or anywhere else?
Everyone that knows us, everyone that knows how crazy we are. No, I should remember them all.
That's all right. Do you remember the name of the family in Carlo you were staying with at the time?
Dunn, family Dunn.
Dunn, okay.
If they hear me, I don't know if they remember who I am, but I'm that guy.
That guy. I'm that guy
from Germany. I'm that guy, and I actually founded a hurling club. Yeah.
Hey, brilliant. You don't remember what part of Carlo you were in, do you?
Carlo Town.
Okay.
Pollerton Road is the road to Pollerton, and this is
brilliant. Oh, we surely track them down. I've got friends in Carlo who could surely track them down somewhere. So, and Lottie, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Also, basically everybody who's around Darmstadt who wants to play hurling or camogie and just wants to try. Oh, if there's anybody from Ireland wanting to come here and teaching us some techniques, no problem. You can come. You're always very welcome.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm a terrible hurler, so I am absolutely no use. But I will come out just to see Darmstadt because I've been so lucky to go to basically all of the main places in Germany that I've always wanted to go to, and yeah, I've never been to Darmstadt, so I'll have to come out sometime.
You're very invited also to a tournament round somewhere else in Europe, or maybe we host some tournament here someday, and. You're very invited to come and see us play and see.
Yeah, I'm so intrigued, because I've heard it was the guys in Cologne who mentioned you first, and I was so intrigued to hear of an all-German team that I said, oh yeah, definitely, I have to see what the story is here. Yeah, that's amazing. So, I wish you guys the best of luck because it's quite unique. It's quite amazing what you're doing, but in terms of the GAA, it's definitely worth a book and worth a story on its own what you're doing. So I want to wish you the best of luck. And the last thing I always ask every club is a lot of people have become quite obsessed with the GAA jerseys and gear from around the world. Where can people find the Darmstadt jerseys and top that you're wearing and everything, Jakob?
There's no shop right now. We have the jerseys from Mazita.
Yep.
And I think they always wanted to open a shop, but didn't yet. Maybe we pushed them by mentioning it here that they should do that. But as we are filing right now, we want to find a new sponsor. So we might have a new jersey in the months to come, or maybe next year or something. So
hopefully,
hopefully.
Hopefully by the time this streams, you might have a new jersey and a new sponsor. So anyone who's listening, keep an eye out because it's got a cool logo, cool colors, got everything,
Or they can just get in touch with us, and we might have some jerseys lying around, or at least we can tell you where to get them.
Okay, super, yeah.
That's also an option.
Brilliant, yes. Guys, thanks so much for coming on and for giving up your time. And I don't know exactly when this will stream yet. I have to work out dates, but I will keep in touch and I'll let you know. But it's been an absolute pleasure. And what do I say? Vielen Danke. Is all I can remember.
Vielen Dank.
Yeah, my German is a bit rusty over the last 20 years, I'm afraid. So yeah, but it's been great to talk to you, and hopefully I'll see you guys again soon.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
It was great fun.
Brilliant. Yes. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss, I should say. So,
Auf Wiedersehen.
Yes. Take care, guys. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Coming up the next day on the Loaf of Bread GAA Global, we cut into our next slice.
I'd say probably the worst game that we've had is probably the mixed game we had at the end of the last season, and women and the men mixed together. That was a tough game. I actually think I came in contact with Enoch and I got a shoulder, so that was probably the worst one we've had so far. But we're hoping now this year we'll be up and running properly and we'll be having lots of games. So hopefully I'll be able to answer that question now the next time we meet, Jason.
Oh no,
Yeah, go on.
I do remember that. That we were going for a loose ball, and I remember distinctly putting on the brakes and saying, "This is a female. I cannot hit her."
I don't remember you putting on the brakes, Enoch, but sure, look.
On Slice 47, I chat to 4 of the finest from the Middle East Kerry GAA club. I meet Jamie from Kerry, Enoch from Dallas in the USA, Oveen from Clara in County Offaly, and Shane from Donegal Town to find out all of the crack in the UAE once again. We chat rivalries with Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, Dubai Kelts, Jumeirah and others, the newly formed Lakra GAA team in Dubai, no Corkmen joining the team, Virgin Media using the Kerry Middle East logo in the All-Ireland semi-final on TV, the Kerry Society in Dubai, the cool crest, Enoch transferring his American football skills to GAA, and Mullingar woman as secretary, using the Sunday game theme song, and Shane introducing Father Ted to a man from which unexpected country. Find out that and much more with the wonderful gang in Middle East Kerry GAA. That's coming up on Monday the 3rd of January 2022 as we take a short break for the Christmas period. Nulli Cunna Díobh Golair, wherever in the world you are, whether it be the USA or Australia, Europe or Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and wherever else you may be. Enjoy the festivities over Christmas over the next few weeks, and as many great people have said before, we're a drinking team with a GAA problem. Happy Christmas everyone, see you again in a couple of weeks. Slánanish. I'll see you at the Arrivals Hall, but until then, check out the various clubs on the Instagram page and see all the amazing work they do and some of the nicest GAA gear going. Find the podcast on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter and on TikTok. Email loafofbreadpod@gmail.com or just simply hit the follow button and spread the word of the Loaf of Bread GAA pod across the globe. Slánagi.